Hi, I'm Stacy.
And I'm Kelsey.
And we are Pilates Before Pickup. All right, well, before we get started, cheers to Plus Cafe, keeping us awake and ready to go for podcast episode 9. All right, let's welcome to the podcast Jen Reid, owner and founder of Base Planning. We are so happy to have you here.
Woo! Thank you so much. This is so exciting.
We just started teaching little classes over at Twin Lion on Tuesdays and Fridays, and it is literally lighting up my life. And
the vibes are immaculate.
It's so good.
Today the doors are open. It's 70 degrees. The birds are chirping. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on here?
So
This is the best day of my life.
Jen took our class this morning. Do you have any quick takes you want to share with the people?
It was so good. It was the best class I've taken. Having you both be able to like instruct and play off each other and then come by and like swing my hips back around.
Yes.
I need that.
And you typically do more of like a weightlifting thing, right?
Yeah, I'm a CrossFit.
Oh,
girly.
CrossFit.
Olympic lifting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at her. She's so
I know. When you were like the form was always 100. I very rarely had to correct you, but it was so funny because it's like where some people, like the range of motion is so high and the spine is moving all around, like your spine was perfectly in line, your range of motion was perfect. I'm like, oh, she does some shit.
She does some shit.
Yeah. But I want to hear about the shit that you do outside of the gym.
Yes,
so let's
dive in.
Give a little background.
Yeah, Jen, let us know how you first got into your line of business. Jen works in the finance world, so I'll let you kind of take it away and give us your intro.
Yeah, so Base is a financial planning management firm that I started 7 years ago. The reason I got into finance though in the beginning was because I couldn't figure out finances and nobody would help me with it. So I was like, all right, I gotta do this all on my own, and like fell into it, loved it, like trading, mutual funds, figuring out like how to organize finances, budgeting, all those things. And then it evolved over time and has now become a like full-grown business, which always feels weird to say because it started off as something that felt like more of like a passion project.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, this is my business.
Yeah.
Kind of like you guys. It's like, hey, it starts off really fun and like I'm excited to watch it like blow up.
Yeah.
And turn into like a business.
Yeah. It's cool because I literally met Jen when she was like transitioning from her full-time job in the corporate world into this new small business that she was starting. It was just like so amazing to see. So I feel like I've been there from the whole evolution, which is amazing. So cool. So proud of you. What moment did you realize that you really wanted to approach money differently and your business differently, or think bigger than like currently what's available to people who are, looking to take control of their finances?
Yeah. So I was in the corporate personal finance space, and it was all about like getting people in, like burn and churn, either sell them products or have like 500 clients all at once, which was just like not sustainable, and like you're not able to actually support and help and get to know the people that you're working with. And it would be this thing where it's like you make a recommendation to someone and then they come back in a year and nothing's changed. And that's where kind of like I found like this, okay, like what is going on? Like we need to figure out like the emotional side of it, because there's definitely more like reason to like why they're not doing it. A, could be just because they're busy professionals and they don't have the time to do it, so they need more accountability and support. B, there's like emotional junk that's going on in the background, like your money story or how your parents handle money that's like holding you back from all of that. And that's when like taking this boutique financial firm like outside of that corporate personal finance was like, all right, now I'm going to design finance the way it should be, which it should be personal.
Yeah. Wow, I love that. The part where you talk about your emotional connection to money really resonates with me. So I was talking about this with Stacy, but I grew up in a home where we did not speak about money. Everything was kind of very quiet about money. I was very confused by it. And when I went to college, I still didn't understand it. And I'm one of 4 siblings. So money was just always kind of like in the background. And then I married into a family where it's very transparent. We're talking, we know everything about everyone's bank accounts. It was truly like culture shock to me. So I'm so curious about the emotional side of money, and I want to know how your relationship with money changed sort of like that 7 years ago, and then like how it continues to evolve over the years.
Yeah, so grew up same way. Money was not talked about. It's still not talked about. My dad gets very uncomfortable when I even like hint to a suggestion or that I know something, which is fine. Like that again comes from his money story and like things that have happened in his life and his family and how they grew up with money. But I actually grew up with like a very scarcity mindset around money because of that. Meaning like we always had to feel like it was like frugal or go with the cheaper option or that there wasn't enough. And I think that's the biggest evolution of like my personal money story is like now I live in like a very abundant mindset where I've seen people's bank accounts that have a lot of money, and it's like knowing that there is that type of money available, and it's available to everyone, right? And being able to feel more free with it and not in like that hoarder mentality either, because I think that's also a really scary place to be when it comes to money. It doesn't actually get you feeling good about it.
Yeah, that's so interesting. So why do you think it is that people feel limited when they come to money? I mean, you talked about the emotional side and like the parents, how you were raised, but is there any other things that you see often that sort of affect this view on money?
Yes. So the money story is like a huge piece of that, like how you were brought up. Basically, your subconscious develops from the ages of 0 to 7. So like anything that happened in your life from 0 to 7 is going to like hold on and like kind of stick in your brain and your subconscious around money. Most people's parents were usually struggling around that time frame, right? Like you had your first kid, maybe second kid, you're paying for daycare, things like that. So the other piece of that is like watching your own personal like dialogue with money. Like how do you speak and talk about money? So I hear a lot of people saying like, oh, I can't afford that, or that's too expensive. And like I think it's just one of those like things you have to think about of like, why can't you afford that? Or why does it feel too expensive, right? Like I've seen people in the grocery store being like, oh, that carton or pint of blueberries at $4.99 is too expensive. Like $4.99, like no, that's your inner dialogue talking to you, and you have to kind of ask yourself why that feels expensive. And I think those are also, again, like going back to the money stuff, like they're coming from maybe your mom being in the grocery store with you telling you we can't afford the organic blueberries over the regular ones, or something a little bit deeper.
Yeah, this leads me right to my next question. How can we integrate combos? So obviously we have children in that there. I mean, I have a almost 3 and almost 6-year-old. Yours are
5 and 6.
So we're right there. You're like, oh my God, I'm like, their subconscious shit. I'm like, what did I teach them the last 6 years, 7 years? But anyways, back to the money.
I will tell you, Kinley, my oldest daughter, thinks that she lives in abundance.
Yeah,
she lives an abundant life.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Taylor lives abundantly as well. But I have, I definitely have a little bit of trauma on this topic. But one question that really came to mind right away was, how can we integrate combos around money into the home so our children can grow up being comfortable, being transparent with, like a business partner or a spouse, or like even just before you're married. Like I think the first time we talked about money was the day I was like gonna be engaged, and we're like, all right, then we're doing this. But like, how do we incorporate that from childhood and even in their teenage years to have transparency around that? And then obviously through those relationships in their 20s and even older.
Yeah. I mean, as the kids are younger, it's more just having conversations. Like I love cash with kids because it actually feels real to them, and having them, help you pay for something at the countertop. Like showing them like the numbers of like, okay, the dollar equals whatever the dollar is that we see on the sign, right? Like just starting very small. Again, I go back to that, like can't afford it, and reframing that to it's not a priority right now, or we have to like think about if we want to go buy or if you're going to take dance lessons, that means you can't do soccer if that's something like in your family finances that you're like making a financial decision around, right? So like helping them have those conversations with you, and you'd be surprised how open they are to like being involved in those conversations. And it's really cool to be like, okay, dance this year is going to cost us $100, and just sharing with them like what that actually means, or the costumes are going to be $50 a piece, right?
Costumes cost.
I know. This would be the Zoom
It adds up so quick too.
I work in the dance studio. Just to
there
get
you
a
go.
little
There you
piece
go.
of the pie, you know what I'm saying? That's how the girlies keep dancing.
But it's like all these conversations with them that
But even that,
they're
like,
not like they don't care about it.
Saying mommy works here so that we can afford this. Like those conversations are something I think I need to like integrate a little more.
Yeah.
Can you give us a tangible example? So like, say they have $25 from the Tooth Fairy and it's burning a hole in their pocket. What do I do next? My husband says, let's bring it to the bank and like invest it. And we have done that. We took it to the bank and we put a few, like I can't remember what she bought it for, like her birthday or something. But her Tooth Fairy money, I keep being like, no, that's like her cash, and she can, like if she wants to go to Target and pick something out, like I want her to have that experience of taking her Tooth Fairy money to the cash register and picking out the toy or whatever. My husband wants her to invest it. So like, I should have mentioned this. My husband love that.
Yeah. 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 I think there are those pieces, like even as like individual, you're like, oh, I wish my parents set me up with this account 10 years ago and like made me invest and forced me to do it, right? So there's like, okay, let some of it be invested and say like, hey, we're going to take 10 of this and invest it, and we're going to take 10 of it and we're going to save it for something super big, like a big goal that she wants to do. And then we're going to take 10 of it and we're going to go spend it at Target, right? So like giving her some like Target things, and then being able, I go back to the cash, because kids in cash, credit cards don't feel tangible to them. Like it doesn't feel real. So go to the bank, take out the $10, give her the $10, like give her the dollars in cash, and show her how like, okay, I give you the 10 because we saved it, and then when you go to Target, like actually handing it over to the cashier.
I think that's like a lesson for an adult as well.
I was literally going to say that for an
100%.
adult as well. Those
Yeah.
credit cards are actually turns out.
Yeah, it's so funny that like literally all these lessons that we're like trying
Like
to
the
teach our kids could apply to, quite honestly.
Oh my god.
That's so good. So we talk about abundance. I want to bring that back to the conversation, because I think that's a really cool like mindset shift. Like talking about saving your money, but like living an abundant life and wanting to put that out in the universe. How do you define an abundant mindset when it comes to saving your money and planning and whatnot?
Yeah. I actually I can't take credit for this, because I heard it from like the Tony Robbins of the world and like the guys who have hundreds of millions of dollars. You can afford anything, but you can't afford everything, and that's still even relevant when you have $1 million income.
Yeah.
Right. Like you have to be able to like sit there and prioritize.
Anything, not everything.
Right.
That's what we said. Yeah.
I'm gonna write that in my journal.
And it is true. Like I think I have a client who like likes flying private, and she came in and she's like, can I afford this? I'm like, yeah, you can, but we're gonna have to make sacrifices in other areas of your life, which is fine. And it turns out she's like, nah, I'd rather have a really bougie vacation and not fly private.
Yeah.
And it was like these moments of like, okay, you can do whatever you want, but maybe not everything.
Yeah.
So I think it is going back to like prioritizing goals and figuring out what's like truly important to doing this too.
Yeah. And then you talked about like growing up and like scarcity and not having enough and hoarding, but how do you then shift the mindset from that to the abundance? Like what do you think are like some tools that people can take away?
Yeah, I think it goes back to the conversations that you're having in your head, right?
Yeah.
Like, I have enough money, I'm good with money. I think that one of the biggest like comments I hear from people is, I'm bad with money, right? Like, and I'm like, why? Like, you just haven't spent enough time handling or managing it to even qualify yourself to like know if you're good with money or bad with money, right? It's just so much of the time like we're avoiding the conversation altogether, and I think that's because money is a taboo topic. It's like we're not supposed to talk about it. It's inappropriate. I think that's the conversation I heard from my dad. Like anytime I even said like, how much do you make, right? It was like, that's an inappropriate question to be asking, right? But like, I think too, as women, that's a really important question to know.
Yeah, I was literally having this conversation with Kelsey. I was like, Jen is so good about like wanting to be transparent, all for like the greater good of us women in the working world, and you know, wanting to be at the same like level as some of these men who are like crushing it.
Who are your equals.
Exactly, but like it's like the transparency is how we get there.
How would you know?
How would you know? It's interesting. It's very interesting. I want to talk about, you talked about the positive talk. Can you dive into that a little bit more? Because I know you have like a special skill here that we have not yet shared, and maybe let's dive into that and what that means and how your brain kind of can translate positive talk versus negative talk. So let's dive into that and maybe share with the people what you've been up to.
Yeah. So going back to the fact that like I started this business knowing that people needed more accountability and support in their lives, and from that, like I basically 3 years ago I was like, something's not working in this. Like even though there's accountability and I'm like we're creating really good habits, these subconscious negative beliefs or limiting beliefs still exist, and I can't figure out like how to like help my clients.
Yeah.
And I found Julie Costa, who's a business coach, but she also is a trainer for NLP, subconscious reprogramming, hypnosis, and I got certified in all those things.
Insane.
So cool.
So cool.
Yeah. And so from like the money side of it, it's like, okay, now we actually have techniques to like help you work on your subconscious brain and like these things that are kind of like holding you back or making you feel like you're bad with money or like shopping addictions, all those things, to just kind of say like, all right, like let's actually work on like skills to help you in these areas.
And what's really cool, and maybe Jen can share a little bit about this, she actually like has conversations with you and like creates your basically hypnotherapy audio recording that you can continuously listen to.
Wow.
Which is so neat and like really cool concept when it comes to, again, managing your finances and your budgets and dreaming big. It's just really cool. A different take than you might not necessarily get with like your standard like corporate companies. I don't think they're going to be recording your hypnotherapy sessions.
I just think it's sick to put the right brain and the left brain together. I feel like we do that a lot in Pilates, and I just think it's really cool to have, you know, both sides of that. Yeah, you have this black and white information, obviously, but then there's this gray area that you're kind of working in as well, and I think that's really cool, and I'm not sure that like a lot of or just people in finance can look at it in that way. So I think it's really cool. And also I need that, so put me on your calendar.
Yeah.
I need to be hypnotized.
Before we move on from the abundance and the mindset conversation, I do want to kind of close that section out with like, people want to have these big dreams and make a ton of money, but like, how do you do that without feeling like unrealistic or irresponsible? Like dream big, but like be smart at the same time.
Yeah, I think two things, like our brain is very visual.
Yeah.
So like when people talk about vision boards, I'm like, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Like put those things on paper, in a picture, have them like on your phone, like put on the vacation, put on the new car, put, like whatever it is, like have it rotating.
Yeah.
Because again, like kind of like that, hey, if you want a red car, like you start to see it everywhere kind of thing.
Yeah.
Your brain is very smart and will work that way. I think also just like going back and like figuring out what you need like financially in order to get there. Like I think there's a lot of people I'm talking to right now that keep saying like, oh, I want to retire early, but like that doesn't feel possible. Like I'm gonna work until I die, right? Sometimes you just have to put it on paper and like actually figure out like what does retirement look like for you, and then we back into like how do we make that work. And compound interest and investing is an amazing thing that like can make your money work harder for you, and then that's how we get those dreams and make them possible.
I love that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So if someone's listening to this podcast and they're feeling really overwhelmed, they don't know what to start, can you give them some tips, or even just the first thing that comes to mind, like little things that they can start today to implement to kind of make a change?
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. 50% basically of people don't understand what they make per month, like net income. So understanding what you bring in every month is really important, and understanding like what's going out every month.
The cash flow.
And cash flow. I hate to say it's the dirty word, the budget. So many people like talk about have like mental barriers around that word. Like budget just feels so restrictive and like scary, and I'm poor. Like there's a lot of again like financial trauma around that word. So I change it up, say cash flow, expenses, like know what you're spending.
Yeah. Because I think going back again to the abundance mindset, yes, shift your mindset, but also like you got to track your numbers. Like you got to know the inside scoop on what's coming in, what's going out.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, multi-billion-dollar corporations know what's coming in and going out, but us as like everyday people don't think that we need to know those numbers.
Yeah, it's such a great tip. Even just like sitting down and writing everything out. Like you might think you know, right, on your app or whatever, however you're tracking, but like even just some like visual learning is like writing down on a piece of paper and really like. If you're my husband, don't fucking listen to this. But that does really help, even though it really does help just to even see it for me. Like sometimes when I'm looking at a spreadsheet, I'm like, that's great, I'm crushing it, and I'm like,
well, it's like us, we're small business girlies, we're starting a small
she's like
business
speaking
here.
to us.
Yeah, so it's like Kelsey and I, you know, just a few weeks ago, we actually like started writing it all down. And I was like, okay, wait, we have a good handle on this, but this is really helpful to visually see it. So
also it brought us to our questions. We didn't even know what our questions were, but there was questions until we wrote it down. We're like, what do we do now?
Yeah.
You know? All right, so is there a realistic routine with money in everyday life, or like, you know, how can we make a change right now that just is realistic and it's not like getting your coffee, making your coffee at home? You know what I mean? Like, is there something broader than that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like
that's
buy
it.
coffee.
Sucks. I hate that. I want to buy my coffee.
I think that's the worst, honestly, the worst tip ever.
Yeah, I agree.
I think so many financial professionals just in general are like, cut the coffee, cut the thing, like all these things. And I'm like, those are such micro shifts that don't actually make a difference. Like, investing actually makes a difference. Like, yeah, go get your coffee, but also take $10 and go invest. Like, and that's going to do way more than you cutting out your coffee.
Yeah.
I think I'm thinking of your question. Like, what was the actual question around that? The like micro shift I would just say is like, look at, like, it's okay to look at your finances every day.
Yeah.
Like, look at your bank account.
100%.
It's one of those things, like, I think, again, we live in such a digital world where it's like, swipe the credit card 15 times one day, and then you look back and you're like, okay, just a quick check-in, right?
Yeah.
Like, to know that. There's also just so many great apps right now, too, that let you literally make looking at your finances once a day for 60 seconds so easy.
You can name one or two of them.
The two that I use are Monarch Money and Every Dollar.
Every dollar. Using it for years.
Monarch Money is more for my people that like need some bumpers and like guardrails, and just need to know. Every Dollar is more for my like super spenders who like,
Call me out, girl.
but like they need more like hands-on accountability with what they're doing. But, and I'm both right now. So I use both of them.
No, that's such a legit tip though, because it's like, you know what you are, and that's okay.
Super spender. Super spender saucy.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. All right, we talked about investing. I love that, and you know, you made a really approachable to like think about investing, and it doesn't have to be like thousands and thousands of dollars. Starting small, it's really cool. How do you think investing in yourself or your business versus just playing it safe and like keeping things in like a static state savings account that's only earning a little bit of interest? Like, what are your hot takes on that?
You have to live your life. I think that's the biggest thing, like misconception too. People being like, oh, if you took that $5 a day and invested it, it would be worth $250,000 in 25 years. I'm like, yeah, and then you're gonna be homebound and like not have a life. Like, I think we also have to realize that, like, yes, we need to be taught how to save, but we also need to be taught how to spend.
Yes,
too. And I think you have to realize that like the return on investment of you going to the gym and paying $25 for a class or whatever that is, it's way more important than you putting that into savings and like having it sit in the bank.
Right.
It's funny, like our parents' generation, they were like one of two things, right? They were like not talking about it, not looking at it, whatever, or they were like so scared of every single dollar. And like I sort of have both of those in parent form, and it is funny, like both have trauma, like still to this day. And I feel like our generation, obviously there's just more information, there's everything right there. It's like so different. Do you know what I mean? Like it's such a good shift, and obviously this comes from women having information, having amazing jobs, investing, having people like you to guide them. I just think it's so interesting how like one or two generations can look at the same thing so polarly different.
Yeah. And if you think about it, either their parents or their grandparents might have lived through the Great Depression.
It's so crazy.
So that's like a huge like traumatic response to to money in general.
Yeah,
definitely. And then you wonder like one or two generations after us, it's like going to be sort of like Gen X and you know, they're in third grade and they want to be influencers and shit. You like wonder how that shakes out, right? Like
living this like multi-million-dollar lifestyle.
Oh, they're in abundance.
Yeah.
You know, in their mind, they need to work on the opposite of the abundance mindset.
Yeah.
Some of them, obviously. But, I also need to work
on that. Talking about like a lot of people starting like small businesses again, like us doing that, and like I think a lot of women, like
a lot of people in our community and our circle.
Yeah. What do you think? What is something you wish more people understood about money when building something of their own, whether it be a business or investments, things like that?
Oh, good question. That you can start literally with anything.
Yeah.
Like I think so many people think that they have to have like hundreds of thousands of dollars to get started, or like they have to have it all together before they open the business bank account, right? Like no, like Bank of America lets you open up your business bank account with $0.
Yeah.
Charles Schwab, you can start investing with $0. Like you can open up the account and get started today, even with $0, and start with $10 a month, right? Like,
eye-opening.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you're like, start before you're ready.
Yeah.
Because that's where it's going to actually accelerate faster, and then you just
love it. I'm reading Bootstrap Empire. It's about the Bala Bengals and their, kickstart to it, and how they literally started with nothing and built this $10 million empire. And I keep telling Kelsey, I'm just like so inspired by it, because again, literally, they didn't start with all of this money. They like made it work and pieced it all together. And like, I am, absorbing all that.
This has been a huge shift for me too, because I wanted to do something like this honestly, probably since like 2016. Like I go back to my Instagram and there's videos of me like working out on Instagram in 2016. But I would see like my peers open business and I'd be like, well, they have this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really until Stacey, she's like, why do we need anything?
Yeah.
She's just, I don't know. I just think that it's a really hard thing to shift your mind that way, but you do not need to have the best equipment or even the space.
Yeah.
We don't even have space, but we're making it work. And I think that's like going to stick with us for a really, really long time.
It's really cool. And then again, on
And
the
also
money
the
side, of it all, like when you do start to bring in income, like how are you managing that? And like the blending of like your big dreams, but also managing your money smartly. It's like a killer combo.
Okay. Rapid fire. This is my shit. Okay.
I
love this.
This is like the newest addition to our podcast episodes is our rapid fire section.
And there's some bullet points on here, but I might go rogue. As I do. Okay. What's one money habit everyone should have?
Budgeting.
Budget.
Okay. Do you have a favorite activewear brand that you like to wear that you trust, tried and true?
Viore right now.
Viore.
Yeah, I'm really loving it.
Our
Someone
last
said
guest
that
said the
too.
same. Cara
Yeah,
did.
Cara
I have Viore leggings on. They're really old though. They might not even sell them still. But these are Lulu,
These
right?
are Lulu. They're the ultra high.
I like them. I never saw with the little. I saw when you were going to pay, but the little symbol on the back, like
On the corner,
I never saw that. That's really cute.
Yeah.
Okay. Biggest financial mistake you've seen?
This is so boring, but buying whole life insurance.
Buying whole life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Period. I love that.
I have a distaste for it, and it's rapid fire, so I can't go down the.
You can.
You can.
Let's talk about it.
No, it's a terrible product, and it gets sold like it is the shit, and I've seen like people that should not be in it get sucked into buying it.
So interesting.
So interesting.
Not interesting.
No, it actually really is interesting because obviously, like, we have kids, we have all this stuff, so like the questions start coming in your head.
Yeah.
You're like, what
Do I
needs
want
to
this?
happen? I mean, I, in theory, was like until like literally January a stay-at-home mom. So like things have come up in conversation with my husband about this. So I actually do find it interesting.
Yeah.
Term life insurance, absolutely. Buy it. The whole life insurance, it's a multi-level marketing scheme.
MLM.
Period.
Woo! Spicy.
Have you ever done hypnotherapy, right? Hypnotherapy. And had that client have like a huge aha moment and move differently after?
It's normally not. It's not a huge like feeling. It's just like this like inner pull to be like, oh, I don't need to spend that much money, or oh, I actually feel like I like can spend money and I'm prioritizing things.
Yeah.
Like hypnotherapy is not supposed to be like
Quack like a duck.
yeah,
Right.
but it's not supposed to be some like massive like all of a sudden like your world has changed. It's
Right.
supposed to be like very subtle shifts.
Okay. And you think that this is sort of like a muscle. You get better with it, obviously, with time.
Yeah.
One mindset shift that can change everything.
Affirmations.
I do love that. One thing you'll personally always spend money on.
Oh gosh.
Your guilty pleasure.
I am like a like health, like I'm very like all natural health like options like that. So I like bought a sauna. I'm all into the red light therapy. Like get me into that stuff.
Well,
And like
stuff.
I really like the dollar value just doesn't show up on my like radar. It's just like I'll just buy it. It's fine.
What about
It's
food,
fine.
like organic or splurging on the good meat or stuff like that? Is that
Yeah.
kind of in the front of your mind too? Yeah.
One of the things, probably 5 years ago, I had said like I will not shop anywhere but Whole Foods or like specialty shops because it just was like it created an experience for me, and I was like, I love that. Like I don't want to be like bopping around from grocery store to grocery store to save $10. Like I want to go get good food. I want to have a nice experience when I go in the grocery store. I want to feel comfortable with the foods that I want.
Love.
You hear that, Lee? Whole Foods. You got me. Now, kind of like on the other end of the spectrum, what's one thing that you'll kind of like always pass on to save for something else, for the Whole Foods or whatever?
The nails.
It's like one of those things. I have like a really hard time with it. I love having my nails done, but like when I go get them done, I'm like, ugh, I can't believe I just spent money on that.
Really?
Yeah. It's a very strange thing.
Yeah.
But I'm also
No,
like
that's
very like self-aware of it too. Like when I'm out, I'm like, oh, my nails should be done. But
I just took a
spending money on
3-month
it.
break and then got my nails done last week, and I feel like a new fucking girl.
You're
I
nail
feel
girl.
like a star now. I'm like, I'm a girl, I'm
Yeah.
feminine.
Yeah.
But it is funny, like I did feel that I stopped for money purposes just for like 3 months, and it was the winter. I had nothing going on, so I'm like, let me stop and try this. And I will say, I felt like a little tinge of guilt last week when I went to the nail salon. I'm like, oh, like I had such a good streak going,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But I think everyone has their thing.
Yeah, I've been getting my nails done for way too long, but Jen and I work my nails into my budget,
Yeah,
and
that's
that
part
is
of
a
it.
part of
That's a
the
part of
life.
it. Yeah.
That's the lifestyle. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Any beauty product, hair, skincare, anything like that, that's an absolute must-have for you?
I will. The sauna is
The
like
sauna.
the beauty. Like it is so good.
what kind of sauna is it? Is it like dry sauna or
It's
steam?
an infrared sauna with sunlight in it.
Do you do it every day?
Really big. I usually do it like 4 times a week.
So cool.
Wow, really cool. It's
Yeah.
in your house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did the girl math on that one.
We love girl math.
You say what is it like times per use?
It was
or-
it was like $250 a month for like an unlimited membership to the place down the street. And I
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
yeah. Compare.
Done and done.
Literally-
I did that with the reformer machine that I just bought for my home.
Ooh.
Took
It
like
was a
2
good
reformer
one.
classes, and I was like, I should buy one for my
She was
home.
sold.
Yeah.
But you know what? There's so much on YouTube. Like, there's this one girl. We'll shout her. I think it's
Purely Pope.
Purely Pop.
Pope.
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 You
Poppy?
know? I know. We'll let you guys know. But we've both been doing her reformer videos on
Yeah.
YouTube, and it's so good. So I think that was girl math. It was
Cost
not
per
expensive.
use.
Cost per use.
Cost per use.
Yeah.
Return on investment.
Return on
like-
investment. All
That's
of
literally
it.
like 5
ROI.
reformer classes.
Exactly.
or less,
Yeah, yeah,
even.
yeah. We should tag that reformer. It was less than $200, guys.
On Amazon, and it's
Ooh,
legit.
It's legit.
But
We
if
set
you're
it up.
really, really tall, it might not be super legit. I have to look at it.
Yeah.
But
I'm
you know,
5'6" and it works for me.
I think it's usually like a 5'9" and below situation.
Yeah.
But reformer classes are expensive.
So expensive.
So expensive.
Yeah.
I don't even want to
Yeah,
tell you
but-
how much the reformer I have cost. I will not. I will
I
go
think
to my
I
grave.
know.
I will go to my grave.
She's
But
a legit one. Hers
I,
is sick.
it was the one I was very familiar using. I was teaching at Club Pilates at the time.
Yeah.
So I really went for it full
Yeah.
send. And I was going to do privates in here because it was COVID.
Yeah.
Then I had a kid and the
But you never know. That could all come back around.
It could circle back.
Circle back. Circle back.
Um,
Any other rapid fire questions you were curious about?
Nothing on the top of my mind. Anything on the top of my mind?
But I do have a few more questions before we close this out. One part that we didn't talk about, and it's going to kind of lead into the advice you give to your younger self about money. Can you tell the story about, climbing out of debt and like how that really like sprung
Yes.
you into this catapult of managing money? And like,
Yeah.
I think that's a cool story. I'd love for you to tell our people.
Yeah, so again, like coming from like living at home, left home, was like living on my own, had my first credit card, free money, right? Like just kind of like swiping.
Like college times or post?
Post college.
Okay.
So I had just moved in with my husband, and he was making probably 3 times the amount that I was making, and I didn't want to give him any idea that
Boyfriend
I
at the time.
yeah, boyfriend.
Okay,
at the
okay.
time. So we were not talking about money. We're not talking like
Oh, I know it well.
but like come to find out, like he was making 3 times as much. So we were like splitting everything 50-50, and I was just putting it on the credit card, and finally got to like a breaking point where I was like,
Can't do
shit,
this.
I cannot do this forever. And I went to my dad and I was like, can you get me out of debt? Like, you got the money, like help me out here. And he was like, no, figure it out. And kind of went down the rabbit hole of like, okay, how do I pay off at the time $80,000 worth of debt?
Were you working in finance at the time?
I was not working
Not yet.
in finance
Okay.
at the time, so I was kind of corporate salary, was making $60,000 a
Yeah.
year, like just
What year is this, like approximately?
08?
2015.
2015, not 08.
Well,
Sorry.
so I guess, yeah,
No, it was earlier than that.
It was
It had to
earlier
be
than
like
that.
2013, maybe?
2013
Yeah.
would have been, yeah.
Sorry,
Jeez,
I know way
rapid
too much
brain.
about you.
Yeah. No, I'm just curious. Yeah, I'm always just curious because I feel like the 2008 moment is one that's like really shifted my whole family's
Yeah.
dynamic. And so I'm always curious like how close to the 08 situation that was, if you were working in finance at the time. So that's why I always ask the year. But okay, so anyways, mid-20s, living with your boyfriend who you see a future with.
$80,000.
$80,000 in debt, and I basically had like a panic attack that was like, I have to figure this out. And yeah, he at the time was like talking about, he's like, should we buy a house? Should we do all these things? And I'm like,
So when you were panicking, were you just like in silent?
Yeah. And then, yeah, it was like a come to Jesus moment where I literally had to say to him, I was like, I can't keep this up anymore, and kind of had to lay it out all on the table. I said, like, I don't need you to help me with this, but I need you to know that it's there and that I'm going to be working on it. And that's when I like went down the financial rabbit hole of like, okay, budgeting has to be a thing. Like, I have to know how much we're spending. I have to like figure out how much I can actually contribute to our lifestyle. And through that, like, it was like this evolution of like realizing I was actually really good at all of that stuff, and the money stuff clicked, and I was like, oh, I got it and I understand it. And did a career pivot and then do it up in finance.
Wow.
So now tell the people, how long did it take you to pay down the $80,000 in debt?
It took me 18 months.
That's pretty sick.
Holy shit.
That's pretty sick.
That is insane.
Yeah. So good.
Wow.
It was a lot of like, so at the time I had a career, but I started babysitting on the side.
Yeah.
I was like
young. She was young.
You did not see
Hustling.
me. I literally just like hustled hard for 18 months, and
Your peers are at the bar on the weekends and you're
and
at
I
the
was like, that's
toddler's
not-
house babysitting.
Yeah.
Yep. But it was great, and like I think it was one of those things, like it actually made me realize how and like what I prioritized in life, like what were the non-negotiables. And I was like, I still want to go to the gym even though I'm paying down this debt, right? And like a CrossFit membership was really expensive at the time versus like the Planet Fitness or
$19.99.
right? And I'm like, no, I'm
That's
gonna
important to
still,
you.
yeah, that was important to me. So I didn't give up everything,
Yeah.
but I gave up a lot. To
Yeah.
do that.
That probably made you and your husband's relationship, I mean, now he's your husband, but at the time your boyfriend, so much stronger, right? It's like, not only is it the transparency part, but then he got to watch you be like a total badass and like handle business by yourself, be really smart about it. And throughout that whole thing, you were just being fully transparent with him.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. And
Really cool.
you guys probably have a really strong dynamic as it relates to money now.
Yeah. It's helped us a lot in like the communication department to like talk about money. It's also helped me too, like now moving forward, working with a lot of couples, like help them have the right conversations and help them like set up the dynamic with money and organize finances to say like, what if your wife needs to take off, 6 months for maternity leave, or what, like, are you okay with being the sole provider? Because I think we also as women have this dynamic that we do have to contribute to the household, but like we're not both making the same amount of money.
Right.
Very rarely have I seen like a couple where like both individuals are bringing home the exact same amount and they can split it 50-50.
Yeah.
So
Someone's gonna have the kids.
Well, but I love the fact that like not only are you diving into the actual numbers, but you're also having like helping people have the tough conversations. So it's a unique.
You have this like interesting lens, like even just you paying off $80K, it's like you have this lens that other people in your shoes might not have. And even the conversation you can have with a new client is so different. Like I feel like, obviously I have this husband who's doing the finance. This is literally his job. I get it. But like, I think if you're signing up to work with someone with money, about money, it can be really hard at the beginning and uncomfortable. And I feel like that would be how I would feel sitting and talking to you. So I think it's really cool that you can come from the other side and be in someone's shoes and be like, this is what I was able to accomplish.
yeah.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now looking back, and you know your younger self, what advice would you give to your younger self who was really struggling?
To not compare myself to other people.
Yeah.
Because you have absolutely no idea what's going on in their life.
Yeah.
You have no idea either how much debt they're in. You have no idea what their investment accounts look like. You have no idea if there's generational wealth involved.
Mm-hmm.
It's an unknown factor, and you're sitting there comparing yourself to them. I was sitting there saying, how can they afford a house right now, and I'm, struggling to pay off $80,000 in debt, right? So
it's incredibly important to think about that. It's like this, almost like keeping up with the Joneses thing, right? That comes through in your 20s, obviously, right? You got peers. Like someone's buying a house at 25, and then you have someone that doesn't have a job at 25. Like it's the whole gambit. But also in your 30s, having kids, moving into communities, putting your kids in sports, like all of those things.
Yeah, life is expensive.
Life's
really
so expensive. What's one small thing someone can do today to feel more confident with their money? I know we talked about budgeting.
Mm-hmm.
But what advice can you give for people to build more confidence?
I go back to the self-talk. Like,
yeah.
Even if it's not like, you don't have to say like, I'm good with money. Like if you don't feel good with money yet, but you can say like, I'm working to start feeling good with money, right? Like I'm working towards being better with my budget. I'm working, like get your mind on board with those things. And it has to be something believable. Like you can't just be like, I'm a millionaire.
Right. Exactly.
Like I'm working towards like investing to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
Like, those are easy things to do.
Yeah. And what is the piece about like your brain does not process? Let's talk about that for a moment.
Yeah, your brain doesn't process negatives.
Yes.
So it's like, I don't want to spend money. Your brain hears, I want to spend money.
You heard?
Right. So focus on like the positive of that, saying like, I'm spending less.
Yes.
Versus I don't want to spend money.
Wow. Your brain is like also like the toddlers.
Yeah.
They don't hear
so true.
They don't hear what they want to hear.
So true. This is so fascinating, and it's so funny because Jen and I sometimes we have like hour-long calls, and like it'll be like 90 minutes, and we're like, oh my god, we could talk about this for hours because it's all like fascinating. It's important. It's really good conversations to be had, and whether it be like saving for your family or like working on building a business, like. This is all like so important, and I'm so thrilled that we were able to talk to you and share.
Having a woman's perspective is always.
It's so good. So as we close this out, where can people find you?
Work with you? Where can we find you?
Yes. Yeah. On Instagram, I'm Finances with Jen. www.baseplanning.co. It's .co. Is my website. It's under construction right now, but it will be back up and running shortly.
We'll put it on our stories.
There's a contact form in there too. So yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah. And Jen has like lots of different structures to work, whether it be like on an annual basis or like quarterly. So lots of options. And honestly, like I've been working with you for a few years now and haven't looked back, and it's just been really great for to be held accountable. And we're shifting our mindset.
We're shifting these mindsets, baby.
Well, cheers to an incredible podcast.
Cheers. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jen.
Us.
We can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
See you soon. Bye.